Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Double Kick Podcast. We double the kick, we double the games, and we double the friends along the way. I am joined, as ever, by my fantastic co host, Dan. Dan, how's it going?
Salutations, my friend. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. We're doing something fun this time. We got some gameplay going on in the background. We got some Fallout 4 going
I
on.
got Fallout 4 going on, heavily modded. Not heavily modded, but like enough where I don't have to think about it and we could just run it in the background while we chit chat. Decided to do something a little bit new this time around.
Yeah.
Just see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I love new stuff. I love doing new things. We were keeping it pretty casual this episode. I think both of us have been playing some pretty heavy, story games or and stuff like that. I think we want to like save that for a pretty big episode. So for now, we're keeping it casual, keeping it light. We can talk about some gaming news, some gaming updates, and then later on, I'm really excited to talk about our Baldur's Gate 3 co-op campaign we got going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like when people listen to these episodes, they're a week or two or three apart, right? But you and I, like, we talk almost every night because we're playing so many games together with our friends and with each other.
Hmm.
I may not see your beautiful face or cool hats or anything like that, but I get to hear the same awesome voice.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you for the compliment on the cool hats. I always wear them on the podcast because I don't feel like doing my hair, so I just throw a hat on and
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
I was going to follow suit. I have, if you can see here, I have like my hat here. I'm like, I put it on and like I don't know if it flatters me on this screen, so I just decided to go natural today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, listen, your all natural is all fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I
And
showered.
yeah, like what were you saying before? You're talking about, oh yeah. We really do talk like, kind of every single night. If we're not on a voice chat playing a game together, we're in the Discord with each other, all of us and
Right.
all our friends.
Yeah.
We but we do play a lot of games together. And the last, what was it, 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, we're on a really bad streak of Marvel Rivals these
Yeah. I
days.
can't. When we're on these losing streaks, it's very discouraging. And I know it's like we do quick play, right? It's super
Yeah,
casual. But even then, it just you start to question your competency if you keep losing like that.
you really do. You really
But
do. The only round we won that night out of like what, I don't know, 10 rounds or something like that. We won our one round, and I'm pretty sure it was the bot round that
yeah,
we got pity placed in.
yeah, it. I think I see like the function of bot rounds,
Hmm.
but man, what like a punch to the gut. It's the pity placement, right? And
Yeah.
I was telling my wife Katie about this, about our losing streak, and she's like, "Did you win anything?" And I said, "Well, what happens is when you lose like so many games in a row, the server feels bad for you. They make it easy mode because you can't handle anything else." So she's like, "Well, that's kind of insulting." I'm like,
It is.
yeah,
I'd honestly would rather not have it, if I'm being honest with you.
I think if I remember like Overwatch correctly, they just matched you with people who are also going through their own losing streak, right?
Hmm.
So like the difficulty level, I guess, would go down because you're not being matched up against people who are on a hot streak.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. It was so long ago when we were in our Overwatch phase. I don't remember there being any kind of like bot rounds or anything like that. Not that I was like really paying attention back then. I don't think I was as tuned in as we are now.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, it really feels like if you're on a losing streak back then, you just stayed on that losing streak until
Yeah, and I
um
think it was more tolerable when I would lose in Overwatch. I'm not really sure why, um,
yeah.
but I don't know how you felt about it.
Yeah, again, it's God, 2016, 9 years ago. I don't even remember. I know when we booted up Overwatch 2 for like, the couple weeks when it first came out. There were a couple times I'm just like, man, why am I still playing this game?
Yeah, yeah.
For the
Overwatch.
same reason. Yeah. But I mean, it kind of is what it is with Marvel Rivals. We have those really bad nights and then we just have those great nights right afterwards. So it's just, give and take. Give and take.
You're right. It does balance out the times where you like absolutely crush it.
I'm saying, and we do absolutely crush it sometimes.
We're
So
good.
it's like the
We're good.
karma gods like
We're good.
coming down and being like, calm down, get it together, stuff like that. Absolutely. Anyway, though, Dan, that's Marvel Rivals. We'll save that for another episode when
Hmm.
we finally get a win or something. I wanted to talk to you because I haven't talked to you too much about this. I talked with Pat on I think last episode of bonus level that came out. I want to talk Switch 2.
Let's
And I
do
want
it.
to kind of like gauge your hype levels for it first off. So, Dan, how are you feeling? We're about by this time at this time of recording, we're about 3 weeks out from
Right.
like the release of it,
Right.
just given like timing wise. So,
Three
how are you
weeks.
feeling?
Wow.
Yeah,
That was fast.
crazy.
I feel like it was just announced.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know, this day and age when there is a trailer for like a new console, movie, game, and there's a lot of hype behind it, I tend to avoid it because I don't want it not spoiled for me, but like I don't want to go in with preconceived notions, right? That were influenced by positive, negative opinions on the internet.
Hmm.
I kind of want to like go in completely blind and experience it for myself. Um, with that said, I can't say I'm terribly excited for the Switch 2. I don't really know the I guess the disadvantage is I don't know what it is. I don't
Right.
know what it could provide that's different than the Switch now, other than maybe a more social component with like videos and chats and stuff. Um, but I'm open to being proven wrong.
Yeah, I think you and I, and a couple of our friends in our space are looking at this a little differently than what like a casual audience, how a casual audience would look at it. Because you and I, we have Steam Decks. We are already video chatting with each other while we play games
Mm,
through Discord. We're not saying we're like better than anyone else, but we're just a little more tuned into like the hardcore space.
right.
So looking at the Switch 2 through that lens, it's not that I'm not excited for it, but when the Switch 1 came out, that was, that felt revolutionary. That was,
Yeah.
oh, I could play Breath of the Wild in like handheld mode, like on
Right.
the go, like this big of a game that it was like insane. And now we have the context of the Steam Deck, the ROG allies of the world, which can do the same thing. Granted, not as good of like battery life, and it's
Hmm.
still like they're still really big, bulky machines because it's a whole, PC in your pocket.
Right.
Um, but I mean that still the world exists of handheld PC gaming. So looking at it through that lens, that kind of doesn't put a damper on my hype for the Switch 2, but it definitely I'm looking at it through a different lens now.
Yeah.
And what I'm most excited for is seeing first party Nintendo games running at a really high frame rate,
Hmm.
running at the graphics always look great with Nintendo games because of the art style, but just like, looking better. Um and that's really that. I'm excited for the first party Nintendo games because at this point, Dan, I was back in like 2017, I was buying a lot of like indies and third parties on Switch,
Right.
stuff like that. But I
Right.
think now with the Steam Decks again, all my third party indie games are usually on Steam and the Steam Deck, and of the sort. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting. I wish I was more excited, but I'm not. I'm not. What's the word for it? I do have one pre-ordered, so I'm definitely gonna
Okay.
gonna play it. But yeah, I'm excited, but I'm not like foaming at the mouth, if that makes
Right.
sense.
It's definitely a different feel from going from like the GameCube to the Wii, right?
Yeah,
Or is it the Wii U to the Switch? Um, is that the right order?
GameCube to the Wii, Wii U to the Switch. Yeah, yeah, you got it.
So I guess in my eyes, it's like going from the Wii to the Wii U, or the Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance. Well,
Yeah,
that's a little bit more of a jump, but Game Boy Advance to Game Boy Advance SP or something like that.
or like a
Um,
PS4 to the PS5 and Xbox One to the Series X. It's just so
sure, yeah.
incremental.
So it's like how much how many more features can you add that's going to be make it worth it, right?
Hmm.
Um, I do find myself excited for some Nintendo exclusives. Um, there hasn't been a lot that I'm aware of, other than the Donkey Kong one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I forget what it's called. Uh,
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Bonanza, and I'm excited for that one because it's been so long since Donkey Kong has had a fresh open world mascot
Oh,
type
dude.
platformer adventure, right? Um,
Nintendo 64, Donkey Kong 64. That was
Donkey
like the
Kong
last one,
64.
right?
Yeah, so this is what it's like. They did it for Mario Odyssey, right? So I'm happy that Donkey Kong is getting his chance to shine in that type of game.
Hmm.
Um, and I did feel like a little bit of spark for that game, but the rest,
Yeah.
like Mario Kart, is another one, right? Um, it's a similar feeling. I'm like, what can Mario Kart provide that's a different experience that hasn't been recycled before? Um,
Hmm.
and there's some like cool things about it, like you're driving from course to the next course, and that's its own little like race. Um, Maybe some more racers playing at once, but it's to me starting to feel like Mario Party, right? Where it's like, okay, what's fresh here?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a couple new gimmicks. It does look like a lot of fun.
Hmm.
And I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic time. You know, Mario Karts are always a fantastic time, no matter what.
Yeah,
But yeah, like you said, there's only I say this now, but I can't wait to be like proven wrong once the game comes out.
yeah,
Comes out. There's only so much that you can change or iterate on Mario Kart, but then watch it come out and it'd be like the best thing ever.
yeah.
But I mean, it Mario Kart's one of those like staples. It's one of those like staples of whatever Nintendo console it's on, with slight iterations here and there. But when you play Mario Kart, you kind of know what you're getting into. And yeah, you said it very well with the Donkey Kong thing. That's the one first party launch game that I'm like super excited for. We haven't seen 3D Donkey Kong in so long, and I really love the new character designs. Um, the redesigns of Donkey Kong. It looks
Oh
like
yeah.
super cool, super animated. I'm very excited to see what goes on with that game. I've only seen like the trailer from the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal trailer.
Hmm.
I think that's what it was.
I
The
think
the
that's the only
first.
one.
Yeah, that might be the only one. But yeah, no, super hyped for that one. I'm excited to finish Tears of the Kingdom in 60 frames per second.
Oh,
That'll be cool. Yeah, so Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are getting like 60 frames per second upgrades or whatever.
with
There are a
with
couple other games.
with the copy you already own, or with the Switch 2 version?
So here's where it gets a little complicated because it's always going to get a little complicated.
Always.
So it can be with the copy that you own,
Okay.
but you have to either buy the upgrade. So I think it's a $10 upgrade
Okay.
to get the, switch to 60 frames per second version, or you get the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom patches or upgrades for free if you have Nintendo Switch Online, like the higher tier.
Right. Okay.
Right. Right. The one we all share. By the way, you need to like let us know when to send you $10 because I feel like
Okay.
it's been a while.
It's been a little
um
bit. Okay.
it's been a little bit. Yeah, so those ones, yeah, so that's the situations with those ones. There are a lot of other games like Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That's getting a Nintendo Switch 2 version with upgraded frame rate, and that one's getting like a bonus DLC. So you can play the Switch 1 versions, buy the upgrades, and I think the Switch 2 versions automatically come with all those,
Okay.
albeit at a higher cost, I think. Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are gonna be like $80 now with those upgrades.
Man,
Blah, blah, blah.
that's unbelievable.
Isn't that
How
wild?
how the prices of games have like skyrocketed.
We just got to 70, I feel like.
Yeah,
And then
recently, yeah.
boom, let's go up again. It's insane.
I'm not sure. Like, if you think about it, right? Like, if you bought Tears of the Kingdom for your Switch now, it's for what, $60? Um,
I think Tears is 70.
right. Still,
Yeah.
still up there, right? And then you
Mhm.
get the upgrade for $10 if you were to go to the Switch 2. But other games that you may have gotten for 60 on the Switch, you're doing like a $20 jump now if you're looking to have that 60 FPS experience.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, in total, you pay $80 anyway for the same game when you take the two into consideration. So I don't know. Again, is it worth it? It's I mean, could you get by with a 30 FPS versus 60? Is it going to enhance your experience by $20? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's going to be different for everybody, but I this question wasn't asked 10 years ago, right? Where all the games were pretty uniform.
Hmm.
So it's just interesting how, yes, Nintendo can innovate, but sometimes they just make things a little bit more layered.
Yeah, they're the one company where it's where I love just about everything they do, but they make some really just funky, bad decisions
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Not all of them bad. They just released like this thing, like they upgraded their terms of service recently.
Hmm.
And in it, they, kind of, I don't know if alluded to or just straight out said that if you like tamper with your system at all, like jailbreak your Switch or do something
Hmm.
like that, they're like legally allowed to brick your system and just
Whoa.
cut it
Okay.
off. Yeah, it's kind of insane. It's
Well,
kind of insane.
I
So
mean, they've lasted very long compared to some other systems, Dreamcast being one
yeah.
of them, right? So um, they're doing something right. I feel like because they have such a wide population of gamers buying their systems and games, it just they could do almost virtually anything they want, right?
Hmm.
Um, and anyone's gonna buy these systems because Nintendo exclusives are in high demand. You won't find
Yep.
that on Steam. You won't find that on Sony um, or Microsoft marketplaces. So there's a hot commodity there, and the exclusivity and the demand for it's just going to keep them alive.
Yeah, that's what it is. They've built their identity. They built their like fortune off of their brands, off of their IP. They built this closed environment. You can only get Nintendo games on Nintendo systems, and these Nintendo games are some of the best games out there.
Right.
So what can you do?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
going into the next generation, Dan. I built my PC, and I'm sure you built yours for the same reason. It's like we don't need to keep buying. PlayStation games are starting to come out on PC now.
Right.
Xbox games are already on PC, and Xbox games are also on PlayStation now. But everything from those systems are already coming to PC. So why should I keep mixing and matching where I make my digital purchases? Oh, I want to play this, but I own it over here. I don't want to play this. Oh, but I own it over here. So I
Yeah.
gotta like pick which one to play when I could just get a PC and bring everything together, like just
Exactly.
have one system. But with Nintendo, it's like I can't, you don't get that. You have to play it
Right. Right. And
on
there's
theirs.
some overlap. I think there's some games where it's like cross-platform, right?
Mhm.
And you buy one, you get like so many versions or so many ports of them, which is fantastic. I feel like those games are definitely bang for your buck.
Mhm.
However, for like the AAA titles that you want to play on the go or you want to play on your desktop, um, you have to really make like a pros and cons list. Which platform do I get it for?
Yeah.
Now I know we say that from our position because we have multiple consoles and
Sure.
PCs and stuff. Um, but I understand for some people they might only have a Switch, or
Mhm.
they might only have a PlayStation. Back in the day, it was like I've only ever played it because I went to my friend's house, right? And they had it.
Right.
So
Exactly.
with the evolution of marketplaces and the internet and accessibility, not the case anymore. So
Yeah.
we're all we're all learning as much as we can, trying to decide what
Mhm.
works best for our shopping experience.
Yeah, I think you made a really great point with that too. Like, again, we're speaking from very privileged positions. We have many different consoles, but yeah, there are some people out there who only have Nintendo Switches, and all of their digital purchases, first party and third party, are on their Switch.
Right.
And I think for those people, I'm really excited for them when it comes to the Switch too, with the extra horsepower, with all their digital library carrying over to the Switch, and some games, performing better either naturally because of just the raw horsepower of the
Hmm.
Switch, or maybe there's like the upgrades they can buy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is very exciting for them, just having a more powerful version of the one console that you have.
Right.
That's a great way to think about that.
Yeah. And look, at some point the Switch 2 will have its own OLED version as well, right? Whatever
Mhm.
the equivalent is, they'll have a larger one or a mini. Like it's all very predictable, but for the again,
Yeah.
as you said, for the people who only have that console, it's exciting to see those iterations. Um, Now, more importantly for you, Terry, Switch 2, with its release library that we know of
Mhm.
so far, do you think we'll get a Wind Waker remaster?
Dan, they pulled the biggest like card on us with when they announced that GameCube emulation is coming to Nintendo Switch Online with the Switch 2, and then they showed Wind Waker, but the GameCube version on it, and I'm just like, you
That was
you you
they know it.
oh,
They have to know that the Wind Waker is such a unique Zelda experience,
you know.
and it holds a platform of its own. But it's not something they're looking to remaster.
No, Dan, knowing Nintendo, the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess remaster is already done.
Right?
It was probably ready for the Switch, and Nintendo is just like because they're Nintendo and they make great games and they're all they just do it right. They probably just put it on the shelf and be like, right now is not the time. It'll come when there's like a dry spell or something when there's not that many games coming out. That's when they'll be like, all right, let the people have it. Now you can eat, I guess. And it's just
I
like,
mean, the younger generations of gamers, they're missing out.
dude, they're gonna and I don't know if they're gonna feel the same way we feel about it because that's the older version of Zelda.
It's
You
true.
know,
It's true.
20.
I mean, I we've said this before. That game aged very well
Yes.
for it to be like a cell shaded, very unique Zelda adventure, first like true open world, open sea adventure, right? I would like the younger generation to see what inspired Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom,
Hmm.
um, and many more games. So that's just my hope. Hopefully one day.
Yeah, I'd like that too. Yeah, they're older, but they hold up. Graphics wise and just gameplay and story wise. And it's just insane to think, Dan, that Breath of the Wild came out 8 years ago. Like
8 years.
the 8 years, the 10-year-old kids who bought a Switch and Breath of the Wild was their first Zelda game are 18 now.
That's
It's crazy.
unbelievable. I still feel like it was like
Insane.
5 years ago.
Right? It's man. Oh God.
I just have to laugh. I don't know if you're watching the stream right now. I thought I was walking into a friendly zone. Turns out they're not, and I'm in a firefight. So, when was the last time you played Fallout, Terry?
Dude, the last time I'm trying to think. Fallout was one of those games I would boot up like every year, start a new character and run through. The
Hmm.
last time I seriously played it, maybe 2 years ago at this point.
Okay.
Um, but just like Skyrim, I fell in love with Fallout 4 when it came out, and I dedicated some hours into it, like a
Yeah.
lot of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The one DLC for it is like really fun. If you get to it, it's called I forget what it's called, but you can basically like build your own vault, and become like the
ooh,
overseer of it,
that's pretty
and it's
cool.
really cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really cool. I recommend trying that one. It's a lot of fun.
I don't often get DLC packs. We've talked about this too. Once I'm done, I'm on to the next thing, and DLC is kind of like I don't know. I haven't played the DLC, but I
Mhm.
wouldn't imagine a lot of them would give me a very similar experience to, I guess, a main campaign or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, like, for example, Bloodborne, right? I played through all of Bloodborne, Blood, Sweat, and Tears,
Mhm.
got to the end, big finale, and I feel like the DLC is like it wasn't the big finale you thought it was. Here's a little more that you can have.
Some more story and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, well, that kind of takes away from that kind of takes away from like the major finale you had planned for everyone else.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. It's the position we're in is rough. We play so many things that like when a DLC gets released later after we finish the game, it's like, do I have time to go back?
right. Right.
Yeah.
And I know you and we have major backlogs. We want to get to the next thing and devote our focus and time and stuff
Hmm.
to whatever we're excited for next. So dragging it on with the DLC. I also don't like microtransactions.
Yeah, I
So
feel you.
that's just my thing. But that's nothing against people who collect DLCs and stuff. Um, the last one I did was Final Fantasy 15, where I got like a seasons pass and I played
Hmm.
everyone's backstory, which was cool. Um, it was
I
a
hear
lot.
I hear episode Prompto, is he the blonde
Prompted.
guy?
That was a sad one.
I hear that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think there was a tragedy there. I was just like, I feel really bad for you, Prompto, and I didn't finish
Oh,
it.
feel bad for you, guy. Hope it works out.
Oh,
Can't talk.
there,
Goodbye.
those are gone. Those mannequins, or nope, those are people. Okay,
Oh no.
sorry, viewers.
Everybody's clothed, I think.
Yeah. This is a PG-13 stream.
Yeah, absolutely. What was I gonna say? Yeah, dude. Speaking of that, I think it's like a free update DLC type thing for Sea of Stars comes out on the 20th, so 2 days
Yeah.
from right now. And I want to play it so badly. It looks really cool. It's like circus themed.
Mm-hmm.
Throes of the Watchmaker. It's called. So I'm like, I want to get through it again, because don't want to like start off from my old save because I bought the Switch version, like the IM 8-bit like limited edition version of Sea of Stars. It looks
Oh
really
yeah.
cool. But I'm working through it, Dan, and I got through the tutorial and I just finished the tutorial and I started it like at least a month and a half ago. So I'm just like
Is it all coming back to you? That was the first game you and I played together for this podcast.
it is. It is. Yeah, they added a lot. So they added a lot of features that can make it like harder if you want. So do you remember those boxes that would come up and you could like use specific moves to break the boxes and break the enemies like
Yep.
spells and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
They added a feature to where those boxes are like they're covered. So you can't see what you need to hit them. So you have to like kind of guess at first, break
Uh-huh.
those boxes open, and then kind of go from there. So it
Oh,
adds like a layer of difficulty. Because I guess
yeah.
some people like were complaining that the game was too easy to like the developers.
Oh, what are they
Uh,
talking about? That wasn't easy. That was a pretty tough
I'm
tough
saying
mechanic.
I was having a tough time.
It
What are they
made or
talking
break
about?
a lot of my fights.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I turned that off. I'm like, I can't make this like impossible for myself.
At least you could turn it
But
off.
you can turn it off. Yeah, the game's very accessible. I do want to finish it. Right now, it's just like it's a game that I play for like 10 minutes before bed, 20
Mm.
minutes. So that's why I'm like going really slow. But I do want to try that DLC. We'll get there.
Is there a way to just play the DLC, or you have to go through the whole game?
I'm not exactly sure. So it's not released yet, and I haven't. If there are any like release notes, I haven't read them.
Gotcha.
It is they. I think they have said it's a post game DLC. At least that's like when it takes place. It takes place like after the main story. So
Right,
I
right.
don't know.
And we don't. It's still a relatively new game, so we don't want to spoil that for anybody. But
Yeah,
hopefully,
absolutely.
it's an extension of the ending that we were satisfied with. I'll
Yeah,
say with
absolutely.
them.
Absolutely. That game was so good. Like I got Pat to play it.
Oh,
Our,
yeah.
our co-host of Bonus Level. Yeah, he
Huh.
like played through it. And he doesn't he plays games, but like, it's not his like main thing. But he played through that and he loved it. I think it just goes to show it's a really great game for
Oh yeah,
anybody.
I recommend it to anyone who likes a good RPG, whether it's a retro RPG or more modern one. Why is
Yeah.
this tree shaking? Do you see this? Are you looking at it?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
It's a scared tree, huh?
I'm watching the stream though. Like my stream of your screen's going in like 2 frames per second. So
Okay, fair enough.
my computer's like, what is going on? Speaking of what were we talking about? We were talking about game prices earlier.
Hmm.
So to kind of cap off this segment, I wanted to talk about the rising gaming prices. Just wanted to I know we touched on it a little bit,
Yep.
but Xbox just announced that all of their consoles are going up in price. So the Series X, Series S, are all jumping up at least like 80 or $100.
Wow.
And we're living in a time, Dan, where consoles are going up
Right.
5 years after release instead of going down like they used to do.
Right. Right.
Um, this is, a sign of the economy we're living in.
Sure.
And it's a sign of, we have looming tariffs that are appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing, depending on the week.
Hmm.
And it's also, the gaming market is becoming a matured market, is kind of what the analysts and economists are saying. So there was a boom in gamers during the pandemic. Everybody was home, everybody was playing games.
Right.
So everybody was buying consoles.
Hmm.
And I think it was 2023 or 2024 where, you could see those charts and like the rising numbers start to plateau. Everybody who could buy a console has already bought a console. It's hard to sell these things to people who already bought them. Basically, they've sold to everybody they need to sell to, and to make that infinite margin go up. They need to find a way to make obviously more money. So it's like they don't have no choice but to raise prices.
Sure.
Sell to, and if they can't sell to the casual people, they're going to have to extract more money from us hardcore gamers and stuff like that. So it's just it's a weird time we're in. And I've never been more happy to just have a gaming PC now than
Yeah.
ever.
What I remember when we were talking about like, should we build one? Should we not? It's absolutely worth the investment, um,
Mhm.
especially with Steam, all the Steam sales that go on, and awesome indie titles that we stumble upon. I don't know why we didn't do it sooner.
No.
Talk about timing, right? Um, I feel like yes, there's a rise on console prices, game prices, but at some point there's going to be some type of plateau effect or diminishing returns. I hope. I mean, I'm no specialist in the economy, but
Right.
when they see like, hey, we're not selling as many as we want to, um, oh, what's in store for that industry? I don't know. I think I I wouldn't want it to deter a lot of developers from being like, now it's a million to pump out these like mediocre or low effort games just to stay alive, right?
No.
I don't want it to affect the quality games that are coming out even today. We have so much to say about Claire Obscure, and that kind of snuck up on all of us, right?
Mhm.
So uh, I would hate for that phenomenon to just fade into the background purely because of an inflation thing.
Right, yeah, exactly. Some people are going to, unfortunately be priced out of consoles anymore. It's going to be too expensive. Gaming in general is going to be too expensive for some
Mhm.
people, for some families who can only afford to buy one console for the family, and now they're like astronomically high, and the
Right.
games for them are astronomically high, and it affects everybody too. Like you said, it affects the developers, it affects the indie developers, any games. It's a full on effect, and it sucks. We live in a capitalistic hellscape, unfortunately, where profit margins just need to go up
Yeah.
forever, all the time. But as with all things, I think, again, I'm no expert either, but I think things will balance out eventually. We'll find new ways to do things. Hopefully, these companies find I want to say find cheaper ways to make games, but then I feel like that invites into conversation like AI, and
Right.
unfortunately, and getting rid of it.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. But there are ways to make great games without ballooning budgets, without Spider-Man 2 level graphics and budget and all that. So
The what do they call those games where it's just like filler garbage games on the market?
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
the filler games.
where it's like trading card store simulator or something like that, but put together in like 30 minutes.
Hmm.
We're seeing more of those garbageware games. At least I'm noticing at least. So I don't know. I see us all going towards a streaming type platform now.
Hmm.
Um, some are great. The Game Pass through Microsoft is fantastic. Um, but it's I'm noticing it's like a similar trend you saw with movies way back
Hmm.
like 20, 25 years ago, when everything started to move towards Netflix and everyone was like getting used to streaming a movie on their TV, right, for a flat
Yeah.
price per month. Um, it has its pros and cons for sure. But I think recent statements by, I forgot who it was, um, but comments were something along the lines of like, it's not technically your game. We just give you're buying the permission or the license to
Yeah.
play it.
Hmm.
Which I have mixed feelings about, mostly negative,
Hmm.
because we do work hard for our money and we want to be able to spend it and call it our own. Um, Buying permission to download or use or what have you is, I don't know. I feel like that minimizes a lot of the value we have when we play it because it's not like we
Yeah.
own it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's one of the cons of our PCs and buying through Steam as well. Again, like if yeah, it's cheaper. The sales are amazing, but we're just buying licenses at the end of the day. And if these developers or publishers, probably mostly publishers, want to yank a game from the Steam store, they
Mm,
can just do that, and
that's it.
you can't purchase that game.
Right.
And in more extreme cases, I don't know if it's ever happened. I'm sure it has, but like with some games you've already bought, they can, just revoke those licenses at any time.
Yeah.
A good
Yeah.
a good example. I don't know if it's the best example for this, but there was that game, The Crew, that came out like way back when. It was like an online like car racing game. You could like live in the world, like open world type of thing.
Oh, I do remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, really cool. But it was like an always online game.
Right.
So, once the servers eventually went down, and they did, people couldn't play that game anymore. And, people who bought that game and spent the full price on the game can no longer play the game that they purchased. And I know that's not the exact circumstances here with like the licenses and stuff like that, but I feel like the message still like, pertains that we're, living in a world where we don't own the games that we buy
Right.
anymore.
Right.
So
I
it's just weird.
Especially with like the need for internet access, right? Like
Mhm.
sometimes we just want to play an offline single player story game, right? Um, Not always the case. So we're moving more away from that, and you start to miss the days when you just had cartridges or discs to throw in the console. Um, but it's a changing world, and I guess we're trying to adapt, partly
Yeah.
because of that demand for capitalism. So that's just the reality. I know we don't have a whole lot of control over it, but I think we could all like band together and try to find a way to like grieve or accept what the reality is.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. We'll find a way. Things will balance out. We'll be all right. There are always those moments of shaky uncertainness, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, without seeing like what the clear outcome or direction is,
Mhm.
because it can change. I think about like Stadia. Stadia, was that the one?
Yeah.
Um, where that's not that different than what's happening now with Game Pass.
Oh,
Um,
dude, bro, exactly the same thing, just like a little too early,
yeah,
Like if they
yeah,
would have come out
definitely
2 or
had a
3,
different
4
time.
years later,
Yep,
yeah, it's
yep.
all timing. All timing.
Um, it's just that's the it has to like follow the pace of the industry. I mean, you could say that about
Mhm.
anything. You can say it about money, any type of technology, any type of like, I don't know, social norm. Um, Someone has to like be the leader in it and take the fall before everyone else can run.
Yeah.
Um, so rest in peace, Stadia. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, bro. It was a fantastic idea. I think I tried the beta in a game or two on it. I think where they messed up was, and I don't even know a way to fix it. So I don't know if messed up was the term, but like you had to buy all your games like through Stadia,
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So you had to create a digital Stadia library where everybody else like already had their digital libraries on their like PlayStations, their Xboxes, and Steam already. So like buying another game through a streaming only service, kind of weird. I think with Xbox and Game Pass, that kind of has a leg up because you're just streaming Game Pass games already, so that has a leg up right there. But no, Stadia was with the first to do it. It was a fantastic idea, at the time when Cyberpunk came out, and it was like came out and it was really like bad and
Yeah,
messy,
janky. Yep.
Stadia was the best place to play it because you're streaming from these like super high tech PCs out in like California or wherever they are.
Right. I
So
mean, aside from like the streaming, you can see the same thing happen with PS Vita, right?
mhm,
PS Vita was fantastic, and it was Sony's second or third handheld,
mhm.
right? I feel like if that came out now, PS Vita would be one a lot stronger than
Oh,
the
Joe.
Switch, to be honest. Um, Bigger library, more accessible. It would be a hit if it came
Mhm.
out for the first time, like today.
Yeah.
Um, and people are still trying to look for PS Vitas and mod it up a little bit and play other games on it. Um, but it didn't have that much popularity when it first came out.
Yeah, it's such a interesting case. The Vita came out around the same time like iPhones were starting to pop off and mobile
Yep.
gaming.
Yep.
So I think Sony's like mindset with it was, oh, everybody's going to be playing, these iPhone games. Like, should we really support this like long term? And, I don't know the right answer for that. I think one of the problems also was, the Vita was great, but it couldn't play like PS4 native games. It wasn't super powerful. So
Hmm.
the developers, they would, if they wanted their game to be on both of those things, they would have to create a separate SKU, and that's more development time. Yada yada, this and that. The indie scene on the Vita was great though. There were a lot of
Oh yeah.
fantastic like indie games that came out on it. Rogue Legacy, I think Shovel Knight was on there too. Just a lot of fantastic indie games. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, you're right. Like I think handheld gaming is at such a high right now. And if Vita came out now, or if Sony reinvested in handheld gaming now, that could maybe play PS5 games at a lower resolution, a
Oh
lower
yeah.
frame rate, or something. I think that would be a hit.
I mean, this goes beyond PS Portal, right? Because we're not looking for like a remote device to stream our PS5 or PS4
Right.
games on. It's native to the handheld console. Um, I think, especially with like COVID, everyone learned how valuable portables were.
Hmm.
It's easy to pick up, easy to put down, easy to socialize. It was great. Um, I think that's one of the pros that came out of the pandemic in terms of video games, at least.
Right.
Um, and so that was Sony's chance, but it looks like there wasn't anything that was planned for a handle to come out
Sure.
for PlayStation or Xbox. And I don't know if the Steam existed in 2020.
No,
Steam
Steam Deck
Deck.
came out 2022, I think, a
Okay.
couple years later. There are rumors right now though that Xbox, not rumors actually. Phil Spencer actually just said that they do have a handheld like in development
Oh,
for Xbox. Yeah, and then there's rumors that PlayStation's working on another one. So I mean, in a year or two, we'll see. We'll see
yeah. Whatever they
what
choose
comes
to
of that.
announce, state of play and
Yeah.
things like that, right?
Dan Hoy, Dan, how's it going? You've been playing, and we've been playing. Hopefully, everybody has been playing a fantastic RPG by the name of Baldur's Gate 3. That's not what you're seeing on the screen right now. This is Fallout 4. Don't get confused. But Baldur's Gate 3, how's it going?
So, Baldur's Gate is such a beast of a game,
Hmm.
and it was my introduction to, I guess, something like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, a role playing game like that.
Hmm.
Um, and it can be very intimidating because there's so many different facets and features of the game, things that you probably wouldn't know unless someone told you or you saw a guide. That said, it is a lot of fun and almost like unlimited options of what you could do in the game.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm playing my own single player campaign with my character, not Thicky Ricky.
Okay,
Um,
right, of course.
that's someone I named Thalamus. Um, and for you neuro nerds out there, the thalamus is very relevant to the game's whole premise. So you know that there are brain worms going in these characters, and there's a whole lot of
Mhm.
stuff going on, right? The
Mhm,
thalamus
mhm.
is a part of the brain that
Ah.
is responsible for relaying messages to other parts of the brain and the body.
What a nerd. What a
Yeah.
nerd.
So that's a little fun fact for you.
That's awesome.
I think it also has to do a little bit with other functions, but nonetheless, it's the relay center. Um, if I'm wrong, please correct me, comment or shoot us an email. Um, so, like any other RPG, I'm a sneak archer.
Of course. Mhm,
Not so much rogue, but yeah, I am a little bit of a elf ranger type character.
mhm.
Um, and this is like my straight edge run. Like I do everything as not neutral, but like good as I can. To
It's got that's such an opposite take of what we're about to talk about
yeah,
soon.
I was gonna say it's gonna contrast a lot. But it's like what I want to make the right decisions. I feel like are fit with how I view the situation, and it's
Mhm.
a real extension of how I function day to day in real life.
Sure.
And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a learning curve. So after about a little less than halfway through the game, I'm in Act Two out of I think there's three acts.
Oh, nice.
Um, I toned down the difficulty level just because I don't understand a lot of the functions, and I get
Mhm.
frustrated when it's not working out, and I feel like I have to almost like reteach myself
Sure.
the mechanics here. So right now I am in the Temple of Shar Temple or Temple of Shar, where
Mhm.
one of the characters, Shadowheart, is like drooling over because she wants to devote herself to the temple. It is probably the most challenging part of the game I've come across so far, because it has like a bunch of trials that you need to complete
Mhm.
in order to progress the story, at least in that regard to Shadowheart's story. So I'm not sure what I'm doing. It's a lot of saving, reloading just to figure out what
No shame.
each trial wants me to do. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. No
Um,
shame in the game.
it's not so much like save scumming where it's like I made a decision in a conversation it's going to change the outcome of the whole like story. It's more just so I can problem solve more effectively. Um, even in doing that, I haven't been effective. So I
So
put
you
the
problem
game
solve
down. Yeah, I
ineffectively.
put the game down for a while, and I come back to it. And I'm like, maybe I could get a different like look at it with a fresh pair of eyes myself, and it it still is a task. So
Yeah.
it's not as much fun as Act One was for me, but I'm willing to look into it a little bit more. Maybe find like a walkthrough that will really hold my hand through it,
Mhm.
or find a way to cheese my way through it with potions or whatever gimmicks I could use.
Sure.
Um, but I think that's intentional. I think the developers were like, use any method you want, any way you can, just make it work, and you'll get there. So it's a work in progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I think the developers had they're had in mind that there are going to be many ways to enjoy this game for many different people. Some people are going to be in it just for the story.
Hmm.
Some people are in it for the combat. Some are in the for the lore because they love D&D. There are so many different aspects of this game, and it's like you said, so dense
Yeah.
that you could really just tailor it to any experience you want, and then it will still be rewarding. But yeah, I do get how it can be exhausting because
Hmm.
again, a dense game comes with its mind power to sit down and boot it up. I
Right.
think that's what I don't I don't want to say that's what drew me away from it because I do still like going back to it from time to time,
Hmm.
but it's a game that I find hard to just sit down casually and play like a little bit of like Baldur's Gate.
Right.
That's a game I want to like dedicate time to. I want to like sit down. I want to like,
Exactly.
not min max, but you just, I want to spend time in that world like intentionally.
Exactly. I think nail on the head there. It's like when I'm deciding what game do I want to play tonight to like decompress.
Mhm.
Baldur's Gate is a lot of decision making, and after like we go to work, we come home after making so many decisions throughout the day. We That's probably the last thing I want to do, right?
Right.
Sorry, dude. Intruded your home. Um, I I feel that with a lot of games, because I want to be not fully present, but more present than I am at the end of the day after a
Mhm.
long hard day of work. Um, but especially Baldur's Gate, I think that's why I lean more towards wanting to play with you and our friend and our squad in our multiplayer campaign,
Mhm.
because it's a shared decision making experience and it doesn't just rely on one person to use all that brain power.
Yeah, speaking of our little co-op campaign and shared decisions and or lack of decisions or or presence of bad decisions, let's talk about our co-op campaign that we got going on.
I am so excited
Uh
we're talking about this.
yeah, it's just there's so much to talk about. And I don't even know where to start. Dan, we decided to start up this co-op campaign, you, me, and two of our other friends, Travis and Pat. Uh so we started this what, 3, 4 weeks ago now. We meet on
Yeah.
about a weekly basis, give or take
Hmm.
a week or two here. Wow, so much has gone wrong.
Wow is
um,
right.
so much has gone wrong. Um, where do I start? Dan, where should we start?
Well, I mean, just like I said, I think I missed part of the conversation where like this idea was under development. Um, I think when I went to our group chat, it was just like, we're playing Baldur's Gate. Who wants to join? Um, so that's when I was just like, yeah, I'll give it a go. And we've done it before, but we didn't get very far because our friend Pat made a very poor decision and ended the game for all of us. That was like 2 years ago. And that was maybe like 30, 40 minutes into the game, and we never touched it again. Um, but now, with all of us playing it individually or having had that experience on our own,
Mhm.
we came back and tried it again. We've gotten a lot further than expected so far. I like what we've done so far because it's very opposite to what I've done in the single player campaign.
Yeah.
I'm the complete opposite of the straight edge, very very analytical or pensive decision making. Now it's just like flying by the seat of my pants. Whatever happens, happens, and I think we've all
Mhm.
come to that consensus. If not
Yeah, yeah.
for your own characters, then for my character, Thicky Ricky, to cause like mayhem through like a Leroy Jenkins moment.
Yeah, exactly. If you weren't going in with that mindset, we would definitely have that mindset now. It's like, okay, this I see the shape of this campaign and I see
Yeah,
what it's gonna be, right? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like you really great points. It's just this is a casual thing. This is a, make some stupid decisions you wouldn't make in your own single player moral playthrough.
Hmm.
We're just gonna do stuff and see what happens. Some of that stuff, we what did we do? We the poor lady in the druid in the grove that was just
Oh,
trying to take the worm out of your ear. We massacred her
hey,
because
she had it coming. Now I will take accountability,
mm,
responsibility for that battle,
mhm.
uh, because Thicky Ricky strayed away from the group and got caught in this dialogue that left him isolated
Yeah,
and
yeah, the room
isolated.
got closed off. That's
Yep,
right.
yep, completely isolated and killed. To be honest, so you guys had to come
Yeah.
and save me.
Yep. Thicky Ricky ran off into the room, got into a fight. We tried to follow him, but then the door closed and we had no other way to get in. She killed you, right? And
Yep,
then we had to
yep.
like
So
come
you had to
in, kill
confront
her,
her.
and
Yeah,
then right, of course. Oh, what a time. We killed the poor thing. I felt bad about this. We killed the owl bear and then
yeah.
I had to kill the owl bear kid, of
You
course,
had to
because
mercy kill the owl bear child.
mm, 'cause I don't want it hunting us down later, and you never know. I don't know.
It could happen.
Um, it could happen. It could happen. Yeah, we're just doing things out here. It's whatever. It's casual. It's fun. And it's nice seeing what happens when there are four unique individuals playing through a Baldur's Gate campaign,
Yeah,
and what
it,
happens with
it's
that.
it's sort of like an extension of a part of us that we're not allowed to, but like wouldn't express otherwise, right? Sometimes
Mhm.
I just want to have like a reckless attitude in like a really like funny way, just to be like a counterbalance, or something to counter my day to day morality, because I can't do that anywhere else. Not that I want to cause chaos, but
Sure, sure, sure.
just to have a relief. It is a
Mhm.
lot of comic relief, to be honest.
It is a lot of comic relief. Walking around the Tiefling Grove, and Thicky Ricky is just throwing boxes and barrels at people, and you're just like, yeah,
Breaking down
that's
doorways.
how this is come breaking down doors. That's been my favorite part of just like, oh, the door's locked. Why don't we just break it down?
Yeah,
And so,
why go through the sneak or lockpick way or find the actual key? We could just break it.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
that was a surprise to me. I would never know that you could break down a door just by hitting it.
You and those doors, man.
Yeah, yeah, those doors always get me.
Just walk through it. You can just break it down. What else was I gonna say? I think one of my favorite aspects of it is that, like, I don't have to control the 3 other party members anymore. Like, when
Right.
we're in combat, it's
Hmm.
just me. I just gotta make one action. I'm a barbarian, so I really don't have to think too much. I
Right.
could just swing my axe, do my little
Hmm.
thing, wait for you guys to finish, and then carry on.
Exactly.
That's,
I think
my favorite
the
aspect.
only con, which is not a big one, the only con I see right now is that when we're all stuck at a different decision, like where it
Sure.
might be at a junction where it's like, what do we do now? Or like, should we heal? Should we sleep?
Right,
Um,
right.
it goes to a vote when we can't all agree on one decision. We kind of get stuck, right? And we have to have a little powwow what's right for us.
Mhm.
Um, that kind of goes against my approach where it's like, let's just wing it, right? Um, it's not frustrating at all, but it does slows us down more than I expect.
Yeah, yeah. For a game that's already, a little slower paced,
Right.
it really like accentuates those moments. And during our nights, we really only complete like one or two. I wouldn't even say missions, but like one or two encounters
Right.
or like things. We're going at. I don't want to say we're going at slow pace, but we're going at like you know a pace. Not that I'm like mad about it. It's just
Hmm.
like that's how the game goes. But like you really have to like once we boot up the game, it's like okay, what are we doing now? What's the one thing? And when we get, I'm really excited to see like what we do when we get to the Goblin Camp because I feel like the Goblin Camp is going to be a like 2 or 3 session excursion
Oh yeah,
just because of how much there is. How much Pat's gonna die.
it'll be complete
Uh,
chaos. Yeah, how many scrolls of revivify we'll need, and
oh yeah, we're gonna have to
potions and
prepare so
whatnot.
much. Yeah, yeah, but it's a good time. It's fun. Again, it's fun seeing the contrast of a single player campaign
Oh yeah,
versus how a co-op one works and functions.
I and there's so many funny moments, right? Like when you set me on fire, because you hit the wrong button and
You're
essentially
right.
essentially killed me, right?
Yeah, you're
When Travis wanted to heal us all and ended up only healing me, and I was good to go. It's like those little moments, and that's like what I look forward to. Just to laugh about it and like relax, decompress.
yeah.
Do we always have direction? Probably really not. But I think the random encounters for these side quests and
Mhm.
whatever other objectives we have in our journal have been just fine for us. I think once things pick up story wise, we're gonna have a lot more like intention where we want to go and what we want to do.
Yeah.
Um, but I'd say it's still pretty good. We're feeling each other's styles out, and the dynamic and combat styles. So
Yeah. Yeah, as time goes on, those things will I don't wanna say straighten out because I mean, it's not a detriment or anything, but yeah, we're finding the flow. And yeah, those the funny moments, they feel so organic.
right.
It's all of us trying to figure out how to work together or, me accidentally killing you or because I thought I was pushing somebody else, but I accidentally clicked on you because I don't know how the PC controls work yet, or just all these things we're all figuring out together and make for a fantastic time. And I'm having a lot of fun with it.
To be honest, it wouldn't be too different than actual Dungeons and Dragons. I feel like if we
Yeah,
all sat around a table, it would be very similar.
it would be the
Just
exact
we have
same thing.
a virtual platform to do it now.
Yeah, absolutely. We should, yeah. Once I figure out how to set up like our little streaming thing for Double Kick, we should stream like a campaign or a
Oh,
session or
yeah,
two on there.
that'd be really cool.
See, yeah, see what happens. Let the inner workings be released to the public, or maybe not. I don't know. They could see, maybe too many people will see my incompetency, and that'll be embarrassing.
Hey, more publicity for Thicky Ricky. I can't go wrong with that, right?
That's so true. That's so true. I gotta showcase my Thickless cage one of these days.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Thickless
that would be
cage.
awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that'd be fantastic.
Makes me wonder, do other people have like joke characters like that? I'm sure they do, but like you see them online and it's like, I don't know, like a caricature of a celebrity or fictional character, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
But to have someone go across the multiverse and play different games and do different roles, I wonder if anyone does it the same way.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, I'm sure people have joke characters, but I'm sure it's a percentage of those people that have like a reoccurring joke character that's the
Right.
same name, that's jumping multiverses, jumping games. It's a, you know, I think you're one of few. You're one of few.
Yeah. I mean, I can't be the only one that thought of it. So if anyone listening / watching has a joke character, take a screenshot, send it to us, or
Yeah,
even
let
just
us
let us
know.
know in the comments who that is, because I'm so curious what people's minds get themselves into.
Yeah, share
Um,
the lore. Share the lore.
yeah, absolutely. What have you done? What have you accomplished? What have you completely destroyed and demolished unintentionally for any game? I would love to see it. Um, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. We've been consistent with our weekly
We have been.
play sessions, so I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the next session. Dan, I'm looking forward to our next recording too, because I'm so excited to talk about some of the games we have coming up. But
Yeah.
want a little more time to let the story soak in, let everything about it soak in. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Oh, absolutely. One session at a time. Um,
One session at a time.
Unrelated, Terry. Little fun fact: my birthday's on Tuesday.
Oh snap!
Yeah, 2 days from today. Today's the 18th. Tuesday is on the 20th, and I will be turning 35 years old.
35.
And what I did to, I guess, kind of commemorate that in this episode for my own birthday, um, is I looked up a list of video game characters who might have the same birthday month as me.
Okay, cool.
However, they don't really track video game character birthdays.
Mhm.
Not from what I saw in my 5-second Google search. So
Sure,
I
sure.
found 15 anime characters who share May birthdays with me.
Okay.
And I don't really know, probably because I don't watch too many of these shows. I don't know how they track these birthdays. If it's on like the show or if there's a manga that I don't know references their
Mhm.
background demographic information. Um, but I was wondering, maybe we can go through some of these, if not all of them, um, to see how they fit their May birthdays. I think
Okay, yeah.
what's the astrological sign for May? Is it Taurus?
Let's see. I think it might be Taurus. Zodiac sign for May 20th. 29th is Gemini and the 20th is Taurus.
Okay.
So, oh, you know what? And your birthday is the 20th and
Uh-huh.
Pat's birthday is the 27th.
No way.
Look at that. So
So
you're
that
a
would make
Taurus and
us,
he's a Gemini.
yeah, Taurus and Gemini. Nice. All right.
Mhm.
Now, just really quick, what is the personality of a Taurus?
Oh man, I'm not super expert, but they say like the Taurus, it's an earth sign, so
It's a forest, right?
grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, grounded, kind of like got your head on straight.
Okay.
You know, relaxing, serene, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
And
Mhm.
then what is it for Gemini? Gemini is the twins, right? Not the,
Yeah, so they're known for being adaptable,
gotcha.
curious, quick-witted from this quick little Google search.
All right. Hey, that's all we're doing. Google searches, superficial things.
That's right.
We're not astrologists, nor are we preaching astrology. It's just a little side activity. Um,
Absolutely.
so, with that said, the first character we got is from Tokyo Revengers. Have you seen that?
Okay. A little bit.
Yeah, it's Ren Ryuji. No, Ryuguchi. Um, his birthday is, it just says May, I think. 10th
Okay.
of May.
Okay.
10th of May, 1990.
He's one of the cool ones. He's one of the cool ones.
Is he? His
Mhm.
picture looks pretty cool.
Yeah, he's pretty dope.
Tied, his hair's tied back, and there's looks like a braid with a little bit of a strand of hair in the front, not
Hmm.
quite covering his eyes. Never really watched that show, but the next one we got Bleach.
Okay.
Um, I did you ever watch Bleach?
Like when it was on Adult Swim and I was like, I don't know, 10 or whatever, I caught a couple episodes, but
Yeah,
it's one I want to get back to.
I never really got into that one. I was back when it was on like Toonami or something like that.
Mhm.
After school, I was more looking forward to Rurouni Kenshin, and I always
Okay.
thought like, okay, I'm just gonna watch one. I won't watch Bleach or anything else after that.
Hmm.
But this is Shinji Harako. He's over 300 years old, um, and his birthday is also May 10th.
Okay. Okay.
There might be a theme here. Um,
Shinji. All the
Suzu-
blondes.
Suzumi's Locking Up is the next show. Look, I guess the protagonist Suzumi Iwado, uh, May 24th.
Okay.
Haikyuu, is that the volleyball one?
Haikyuu is the volleyball one. Yeah.
Yeah, Haikyuu and Satori Tendo. Same birthday as me.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
for those of you who have seen Haikyuu, or just want to take a look at what Satori Tendo looks like, that's me. Um,
That's you.
that's
Yeah.
exactly who I am.
I really like your red hair, Dan.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, with the noseless face, um, tiny nostril. If anyone thinks they want to know me in the real world, this is who I'm actually like. Satori Tendo. We're both Tauruses, same birthday, and probably decent at volleyball. I hope.
Oh yeah. Are you good at volleyball, Dan?
Back in the day, I actually was pretty decent. I'm only 5'6",
Hmm.
but man, I could jump.
I
And
believe it.
yeah, I really liked blocking the spikes.
Hmm.
Um, I played intramural volleyball in college, and I didn't let my height disadvantage stop me. So I do like it a lot.
Listen, us shorter guys, we have so much more to prove. That makes us. I feel like that gives us more
Oh
energy. You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah.
This
And
is.
when it actually happens, everyone's like, "Wow, that's like overcoming your your biological disadvantage."
Dang.
Um, you watch Naruto. I'm gonna be honest, never saw Naruto.
Wow.
I've never seen a single episode.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and
That's crazy.
it's so long. I don't even want
Yeah.
to start.
Yeah. It's an early shonen too. Some of those fights can be just drawn out.
Yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
I see here it says number of episodes 500.
But if
Uh,
you cut out the filler, that's like half of it. So
there's a filler. What's the filler?
there's no, like filler episodes and stuff like that. So
Oh,
stuff
okay,
that's
okay.
not either not canon or just doesn't matter to the story. If you cut out all those episodes, like
Yeah,
there's like a list online. It's like if you don't watch episodes like 30 through 60 because they don't matter and blah blah blah.
that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Um, for Naruto, is it Deodara or
Oh, did Datara? Yeah,
Datara? Yeah,
guy with the weird tongues on his mouth or tongues on his mouths on his hands.
his mouth's on his hand. Is that what
Yeah,
I'm
he's the
looking at?
blonde. Yeah, he's the blonde guy, right? Datara.
Yeah, with the headband.
Yeah. His jutsu is he has mouths on his hands and he eats like clay with those mouths and he shoots them back out and they explode. It's pretty cool.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if it's cool, but
um, so his birthday is the 5th of May.
okay. Okay.
I don't know if this is related to being a Taurus. And mind you, this is the first time I'm learning of him.
Hmm.
Member of the Explosion Corps of Hidden Stone Village of the Land of Earth.
Okay, let's see. The
For an
Earth
Earth
pertains.
sign, right?
Yeah,
Makes
he's
a lot of
definitely
sense.
not a grounded character though. But
Oh, well, that's okay. That's doesn't go with our astrology chart here.
no, no.
Black Clover, never heard of it. Vanessa Enoteka, 25 years old. Birthday is on May 16th.
Okay.
Bangu Stray Dogs. This Nakajima character, 18. We got May 5th.
Okay. Okay.
And
Taurus.
I am
Taurus.
so happy to share this birthday with a
Uh-oh.
Dragon Ball Z character.
Ooh.
As of today, today's May 18th,
Hmm.
Son Gohan was born on May 18th.
Whoa.
Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, that's like a
Uh,
major one too.
that's a major, major one. Everyone
Hmm.
knows Dragon Ball Z if you watch
Hmm.
any anime or have seen any anime. Gohan's a very, very popular character.
Gohan's the
Second
guy.
to Goku, right? So I am officially honored to be talking to you on the day of birth for Son Gohan.
Shout out Son Gohan, yo.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
the the half breed Saiyan, the elder son of Goku,
yeah.
the future warrior, one armed Gohan was probably the coolest Gohan. Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny, watching Dragon Ball Z, and whatever iterations next, you get to see like the lifespan of Gohan from
Hmm.
childhood to adulthood, and so this seems like full circle. It just completes my understanding of his lore.
It all makes sense now. You are
It does.
Gohan.
It does. Next, we got Naruto Killer B.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Oh yeah,
Killer Bee's dope.
who's Killer B?
He's a rapper.
No way. Is that
He
why he
raps.
carries like a little notebook with him?
Yeah, he's writing down his like raps and stuff like that. There's this cool scene. He's a really cool guy. Naruto has like the nine tails inside him, like nine tails demon.
Yep.
Killer Bee has the eight tails. So it's
Eight
like
tails. Okay.
and the eight, yeah, and it's funnily enough, the eight tails is he's like a ox or like a bull. He's a bull character. He's a bull mixed with like an octopus.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay. So this checks out for
yeah,
Taurus, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Personality
And
wise, do you think he fits?
he's pretty energetic and
Hmm.
quirky. So I don't know. But he's a grounded guy. He's
He's a
chill.
mostly grounded, stable
Yeah.
guy.
Great fighter. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's cool.
Um, Demon Slayer. That's a relatively newer
Hmm.
anime that's on Netflix and Hulu and of course Crunchyroll. We got Rengoku Kyojuro.
Oh, ah, best one, best guy.
I gotta say, Terry, his eyes look kind of wild.
Sure, he looks a little crazy.
He does look a little crazy with like this flaming hair.
Uh-huh.
May 10th is his birthday.
Hmm.
Doesn't look all that steady to me, but you tell me. What do you know about this guy?
He's a great guy,
Yeah.
great fighter,
Okay.
great spirit. He's a guy you want in your corner.
Is
Absolutely.
he? I mean, in simple terms, is he one of the good guys or bad guys?
Great guys, good guys,
Great guys. Okay.
great guys. Actually, great, fantastic guys. Better than good.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That says a
Hmm.
lot. I mean, so
Yep.
far the Taurus camp is looking good.
You got it. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
we got Hunter X Hunter,
Hunter x Hunter.
Gone Freaks, 14-year-old.
Go. You got gone?
Gone
Gone?
Freaks, I
Oh
guess.
my
Yeah, May 5th is his birthday.
dude. Oh my
Yep.
god. That's main character.
No way.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I love that. I mean,
Ah,
what is his story for someone who's never seen this show?
Hunter x Hunter isn't one that I'm like the best at. I watched the first maybe 3 or 4 seasons. His story, I'm not the guy to ask. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah.
He's going through it.
I mean, if he's the main character, then he's got more positive qualities than not, I guess.
Yeah,
That's my assumption.
absolutely. Yeah, he's a great fighter though.
One Piece, Terry.
Okay.
One Piece. We got Luffy.
Oh, dude, come on.
Yep. So this is looking good. May 5th. He's the protagonist, right?
Jeez, yeah,
He
yeah,
is
you're
the main character.
that's the guy.
Yeah. The whole
It's
show.
cool. You got Son Gohan, which is like, Son Goku adjacent, and then you
Right.
got Monkey D. Luffy, which is also like Son Goku adjacent. Um,
Amazing. Wow. Who
Amazing,
would have thought May would have all these like super personalities?
right? All the Monkey Kings.
Oh, the Monkey Kings. Yeah, yeah. One Piece, Kaido.
Ah, dude, that's like one of the not main villains, but he's a pretty big
Yeah,
boss,
he looks like a
big
baddie.
guy.
He's a
Yeah.
big baddie. Purple electricity,
Jeez.
horns, giant mustache.
Is May
Jacked.
the best month?
May 1st is his birthday, so just at the cutoff. Just at
Damn.
the
Dang.
beginning of May. Yeah. Um, he looks pretty strong.
Yeah, he's intense.
Yeah, yeah. And he looks like he gets what he wants. If we talk about a bull, he is the image of a bull.
He's got the horns.
Um, 2 more to go. Number 2, Bleach. Aizen Sosuke. From what it looks
Aizen.
like, his birthday.
Okay.
When is Pat's birthday?
27th.
This guy's birthday is the 29th.
Okay. Okay.
So he's a Gemini.
Okay.
Obsessed with power, high IQ, super good at casting battle spells. Sounds like a bad guy, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty sure he's one of like the big bads. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
Someone let us know. And last but absolutely not least,
let's go.
coming May 22nd, this Thursday, is the birthday of Ash Ketchum.
Let's go.
I mean, like, you can't beat that, right?
Come
You
on.
got this awesome crew, and then you got the Pokemon Master, who may or may not be in a permanent concussion state in a dream world. 13-year-old, I think, forever 13-year-old Ash Ketchum.
10-year-old.
10-year-old Ash Ketchum.
Forever 10 years old.
He's the most adventurous, hard-headed sometimes, but also endearing protagonist I think we have on this list. So,
Dog, you got it, man.
My heart.
You got it. Dude, May might be the best month.
I mean, this is the first time we've done it. I think I'd be curious to see what other months have. But man, this is quite the crew we got going on. Good guys and bad guys.
Yeah, no, great guys, good guys, awful guys, evil guys. Dan, I looked up some famous people's birthdays, celebrities' birthdays on your birthday specifically.
Yep.
Not too many that are familiar to me. There's a lot of YouTube stars, and I'm just like, don't know. But here's a couple. Cher.
Cher, yeah, I always knew Cher was one. I didn't know who Cher was for the longest time, but
dude, we love Cher.
yes.
Let's see, Busta Rhymes.
No way, Busta.
Yeah, shout out Busta. Let's see, JoJo Siwa's brother, I think.
Oh, great. Love that guy.
Love that guy, Jaden Siwa. Let's see, who else do we got here? Busta Rhymes, I already know. I don't know many of these actors. I'm gonna call it at that. Busta Rhymes and Cher.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes and Cher are like the two big names. Cher, I knew of. I just didn't know who she was for a while. But yeah, whenever that question comes up, do you share a birthday with any celebrity? That's who I.
It's always the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Mine was always Bruce Willis. Me and Bruce Willis have the same birthday.
Nice. That's a solid one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like Bruce.
Bruce is a good guy. Hope he's doing well, unfortunately, with his condition. But
yes, that is
I wish him well.
Unfortunate. See anybody else? Nah. Bun B. Shout out Bun B. March 19th.
Nice.
Theo Vaughn is one of them. Yeah. Anyway, shout out birthdays.
Yes. Happy birthdays to the birthdays.
Yeah. Happy birthday to them all. Dan, I had a lot of fun today.
It's been great.
This was a cool casual episode.
It's a nice spin and a fresh take on our episode, much more free flow. We didn't have the distinct like games or categories to go after today, but I feel like we did cover a lot of information.
Yeah, it's not too often that we can just sit back and talk about like the state of things or like our feelings about like, just the industry or your consoles like in general. I think this is something that we can do like more often because I feel like that conversation was really good.
Absolutely. Yeah. And hey, if this streaming thing keeps up, we'll find some interesting games for you to watch as you listen to us banter and ramble and discuss.
Absolutely. Cool stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for us today on our episode of Double Kick. If you like what you have heard, please give us a little 5-star rating on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify. It really helps people find the show. You can find us over on Instagram at Double Kick Games. That's where we always post updates and the sort. You can keep up with us there. Other than that, everybody, that will do it for today's episode. Dan, I had a fantastic time.
Me too. I look forward to the next one.
Awesome. All right, everybody. We'll see y'all later.
See you guys.